What is up, Revivalists? How's it going? Hope you're all good. Simon here from CD Revival, and today I'm going to do the next part of my CD collection video, basically. So today it's going to be N. Showed you last week a whole bunch of Nine Inch Nails stuff, ranked all their albums, showed you all their EPs and remix albums and what have you. So there's not really loads and loads of N stuff to do, but I'll show you what I have got. And also I will show you any new stuff that I've picked up. Well, not any, all of it, but quite a bit of the new stuff that I've picked up, which I've already covered the letters for, etc, etc. So I'll show you those as well. If you go onto my Facebook page, my Facebook group as well, I always post like new additions to my collection. So if you're on Facebook, you can always check out CD Revival Facebook group, and you'll have all my new stuff on there as well, and any new videos that are coming out as well. So make sure you click on that and go to join the group if you're a CD collector, or even if you're not, even if you're just interested. So I'll start with the ends. A few bits and pieces, as I said. First one I've got is the NWA, their second album. I've actually got two copies of this. The original one I bought when it came out, and this one here I got recently. Actually, it was I think it was a charity shop. So this one differs because it's got the 100 Miles and Running EP on, which I used to have on vinyl. I used to have both of them on vinyl. I bought this album 3 times. Once on vinyl, twice on CD. Really good. Excellent early 90s sort of gangster rap kind of. Probably my favourite of their 2 albums that they put out. The Straight Outta Compton obviously was their first one, seminal album. This one I think I do prefer, even though Ice Cube doesn't feature on this one. I think it is a better album. Some really cool, like a lot of like P-Funk samples and what have you. Some really excellent tracks on here. Say the one with 100 Miles and Running EP on 100 Miles and Running EP is absolutely banging. The track of that is superb as well. So strongly recommend if you like gangster rap. They were one of the pioneers, and this one is an absolute shining example of that genre. So I strongly recommend you check it out. And I have also got their greatest hits, which I picked up. I think I got this off the internet actually. And this one's got quite a few bits on there as well. Obviously stuff from their first 2 albums, and so all the stuff that I found, like Straight Outta Compton, a little bit hit and miss. But all the best stuff from there is on here, like Gangster Gangster, Fuck the Police, Straight Outta Compton itself. It's the extended mixes on here, and it's got a few other bits on there as well. It's got 100 Miles and Running as well. But yeah, pretty good compilation. Previous unreleased material. So stuff with Ice Cube on there as well, that covers the whole gamut. But yeah, well worth having as well, pretty decent. I've got the album Game Over by Nuclear Assault, another one which I did have on vinyl. This one's pretty cool because this one has actually got The Plague as well, which was an EP that came out and features on this. Their albums, especially their earlier ones, the first sort of 3 or 4, like this one, Survive, Handle With Care, which I think is probably my favourite album of theirs. They're all quite difficult to get on CD nowadays, so if you do see them, pick them up. But yeah, first album was, I remember I got that, I had it on vinyl, I was at school, and no one else had really heard of Nuclear Assault, and I thought it was pretty cool. Everyone obviously taped it off of me because that was the way back then. And also in my English GCSE, when we had to do a poem which was like war related, and by this time I'd very much lost interest in school. And true to form, we had to do it as homework. I hadn't done that, so I pretty much just copied the entire lyrics of After the Holocaust from this album, and that was my poem, war related, and I got an A for it. So thanks very much, John Connolly, appreciate that. And also the English exam board think your lyrics are pretty banging. So yeah. But yeah, a good album, early thrash. Yeah, some really cool stuff on here. Obviously, Dan Lilker was the original bassist for Anthrax as well. I think Handle With Care is their best album, but this is the first one I heard of theirs. Obviously, it was their first album as well, and with The Plague as well, and it's got a bunch of live tracks on it as well. So it's really quite a good package, 24 tracks. But yeah, super good old school thrash album. We've got this one, which is Nail Bomb, which is Max Cavalera and Alex Newport from Fudge Tunnel as well. Yeah, good sort of heavy industrial-esque, noisy. Yeah, just really cool. We listened to this loads back in the day. This came out in '94 by the looks of it. Yeah, some really cool stuff on World of Shit. It's a really cool track. For fuck's sake, really good 24-hour bullshit. It's just a bunch of bangers on here. If you like your stuff noisy and like, you know, kind of industrial but just really heavy, well worth checking this one out if you get a chance. Especially say if you're a bit of a Sepultura fan as well. Obviously Max does the vocals on this, so awesome album. This one, Nativity in Black, this is Nativity in Black 2, which is a tribute to Black Sabbath, so a bunch of people doing Sabbath covers. You've got Machine Head doing Cold in the Sky, which is not the best to be honest with you. Megadeth doing Never Say Die, System of a Down doing Snowblind, Electric Funeral, Pantera, Slayer doing Hand of Doom. There's some really cool covers on there, so that's pretty good if you're a Sabbath fan, and you know, yeah, just well worth checking out. An old one from back in the day, also Ned's Atomic Dustbin. Are You Normal? This is their second album. I hadn't heard this for years. Picked this one up once again in a second-hand shop, and yeah, it's cool, still good, especially after not listening to it for a long time. Two bassists they had famously, so yeah, from the mid-90s, early to mid-90s I would say. I've got a year on here, can't see it. Yeah, I'd say early to mid-90s, can't see what the date is, eyesight's terrible, but yeah, cool album nevertheless. This one, don't even really remember buying this to be honest with you. NYCC, Fight For Your Right to Party. I'm pretty sure it's a dance version of the Beastie Boys song Fight For Your Right. Not much to say about this, I can't actually remember buying it, and it's probably not really worth having. 1998 apparently it came out, it's a thing. Now, some Nirvana stuff. That's pretty much it for N actually, so just go through my Nirvana collection. Obviously Nirvana, super influential band, was a big fan of them when they were around, and then since then I've sort of don't really listen to them too much, and listened to like basically all their main albums just yesterday, just to kind of, because I hadn't heard them for years, so I thought, well, we'll give them a spin, because I knew that I was going to be doing this video, just to refresh my memory, if you like. I've heard them all a ton of times, obviously. So yeah, anyway, first album, Bleach. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. A lot more, you know, stripped back and kind of noisy than that came after that. Things like About the Girl, School's a good track, Blues a really cool track, Love Buzz, Negative Creep, Big Cheese, etc. But yeah, cool album. Not their best, but still good. Then we have the big one, Nevermind. This one, even to this day, I have to skip tracks on here. I can't listen to Teen Spirit, I can't really listen to Come As You Are either. I think In Bloom's a cool track, Breed I really like. Drain You, Stay Away, Lounge Act's not bad. Yeah, Lydium I can hear, you know. Overplayed, obviously a super famous album, much more streamlined and produced than Bleach for example, but still, you know, still a good album. But yeah, it's stuff that I can't hear anymore, just have to skip through. They then brought out Incesticide. This we played to death back in the day. Rare B-sides, BBC sessions, original demos, outtakes, stuff never before available. What else is in here? CDR of Johnny Cash. Oops. But yeah, This one, yeah, a banger. Probably my favourite. Like, and say I did listen to this yesterday, and still really, really cool. Oh yeah, just love this album, to be honest with you. It's got like demo-y stuff, and like, you know, other really cool stuff as well. It's got New Wave Polly, which is like a sort of up-tempo punky version of Polly, which is way better. Things like Being the Sun, which is an amazing track. Dive's really cool. Sliver's really cool. Big Long Now, that's an excellent track. Aneurysm, that's a superb track as well. Son of a Gun, Molly's Lips, loads of really catchy and also really cool stuff on here. If you've not heard this one, this is an absolutely, yeah, a corker of an album. Really, really good. Lots of really cool stuff on here. If you're a Nirvana fan and you've not checked it out, then you're doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion. Single for Lithium. This one's got Been a Sun Alive on it, Curmudgeon as well, and is this the one with the D7 from John Peel sessions? Yeah, so that's the Lithium single. Heart Shaped Box. Yeah, this is the one with Marigold on it, which Dave Grohl does the vocals for. And the LP version of Milk It from In Utero, which we're going to get to. It's probably one of the best tracks on there. In Utero, the final album they did before Kurt, you know, did what he did. A lot better than Nevermind, to be honest with you. Some really cool stuff on there. Serve the Servant, Scentless Apprentice, both really good tracks. Heart Shaped Box is another one of those, which is, you know, borderline. I've listened to it too many times. Rape Me, not bad. Francis Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle, that's a really cool track. Very Apes, pretty cool. Milk It is my favourite probably track on here. Penny Royalty, I'm not a great fan of. Radio Friendly Unit Shifter I like. Tourette's is pretty cool. All Apologies finishes it off. And then Gallons of Rubbing Alcohol Flow Through the Strip to finish off with. But yeah, a way better album than Nevermind. Did go mad for this when it came out. Bought this on the day of release, and you know, yeah, loved it. And kind of, yeah, it's probably like 70-30 on this one of good tracks and tracks that I'm not so keen on. But super influential band. I don't think that they are as good as their reputation suggests. Maybe that's a bit of a controversial view, but they did some good stuff and pretty much killed off like rock music in the early 90s, which, you know, a bit of a dick move, but I suppose they intended to do that. But anyway, that's that. Oh, and Unplugged in New York as well. Yeah, just an unplugged album basically. Do a few other covers on there, The Man Who Sold the World, etc. Some good stuff on here though, but you know, there we go. That's the Unplugged. That's it for N. Say some stuff that I've picked up in charity shops and off the internet in the last, well, since I've done these ones. I've got Genesis Live, The Way We Walk. This is volume 1, the shorts, so the shorter songs that they've done live. So you have got things like obviously Land of Confusion, No Son of Mine, Mama, That's All, In Too Deep, etc, etc. So that's pretty cool. Got this one for £1, Coheed and Cambria. No World for Tomorrow. Not heard loads of their stuff, to be honest with you. It's okay. So that's that one. Not much to say about that because I've not really checked it out yet. Good Charlotte, Good Morning Revival. I've got a bunch of Good Charlotte albums. I'm not even their biggest fan, but you do tend to find them pretty cheaply, so it's like, you know, whatever, you pick them up. Keep Your Hands Off My Girl, I do remember from this one, was a single, and that is actually quite cool. So yeah, I need to check that one out. Dr. Dre The Chronic, first Dr. Dre solo album. I remember very well when this came out. This is pretty much the introduction of Snoop Dogg to the world as well. Loads of classic stuff on, you know, Let Me Ride, Fuck With Dre Day, etc, etc. Nothing But a G Thing, and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, really like cool, like say funky, good, just a really good hip hop album. Probably in the top 10 hip hop albums of all time, I would suggest. Very, very good indeed. A couple from Bob Dylan, which I picked up for £1. This one, Modern Times, I know absolutely nothing about. I say, well, I haven't checked this one out yet. I think this is a more recent album of his. Can we see? 2006 by the looks of it. So yeah, that's one for me to check out. And an older one, Bringing It All Back Home from Bob Dylan. This one's got Subterranean Homesick Blues, Maggie's Farm, probably Mr. Tambourine Man, probably the most famous ones. This one was from back in the 60s, 1965 I believe. So yeah, got those for £1. Another classic, bit more classic hip hop here, Eric B and Rakim, Paid in Full. Not their best album either, but probably their most famous. I think Follow the Leader is their best one. This has got my melody on it, Paid in Full, probably Eric B's President. Probably the most famous ones, but cool. Excellent, like rapper Rakim, obviously. From Ice Cube, War and Peace, Volume 1. This is the War disc. I have got Volume 2 somewhere. I'm not sure if it's in this stack or not. Big fan of Ice Cube. Good stuff. Cannibal Corpse, I've picked up a few of theirs. Once again, they're a bit more harder to get hold of these days. This is Violence Unimagined. This is their most recent album. Really good. Definitely one of their best. Really good album. You know what you're going to get from them, and you certainly get it on this one. An old school thrash album, Doomsday for the Deceiver from Flotsam and Jetsam. This is Jason Newsted's original band. Obviously he joined Metallica from these after putting this album out. This is an absolute banger from back in the day. Some really cool tracks on here, things like Hammerhead, the title track as well, She Took an Axe, just like, yeah, loads of really cool stuff, man. If you've not heard this one, this is definitely one to check out. Yeah, definitely one to check out. Really cool album. Best of Billy Joel. My other half had this one. She didn't like it. She was like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah." Don't mind Billy Joel. Obviously, it's got all his, hits on here. The Uptown Girls and the Tell Her About It. But he's done some good stuff. Obviously, he's he knows what he's doing. He can write a tune. My Life, An Innocent Man. Some good stuff on here. Another Cannibal Corpse. This is Torture. Comes with a slipcase, so you've got the the gory cover within. So that's a good one from them. So slowly building up. So they are hard to get, their albums, especially for a reasonable price. So some good stuff on that one. And then another Cannibal Corpse. This is Vile. This was the first one with George Corpse Grinder Fisher on vocals. I think this is the anniversary edition, so this comes with the DVD as well. So it's a live performance. A couple of live performances actually. I haven't actually checked the DVD out yet, but the album's pretty damn cool as well. I think most of the album was written before Chris Barnes left, but Corpse Grinder does a great job. I say I do prefer him as a vocalist. Tooth and Nail by Dokken. Good album of theirs. Not my favourite. Back for the Attack is my favourite album of theirs. This is probably my third favourite after Back for the Attack and the other one. Can't even think what it's called. Anyway, still a good album. Just Got Lucky, really cool track. Into the Fire. It's got some. Yeah, it's a good album. Machine Head, Catharsis. This was the only album I needed from there, so I had picked this up since I've done their ranking video. Once again, this comes with a bonus DVD, which is the concert DVD. So yeah, nice package. Not their best album. I ranked it last, but still a good album. And so with the bonus concert DVD, made it well worth my money getting it. And last but not least is Bonded by Blood by Exodus, obviously seminal classic, their first album. Yeah, highly rated, and rightly so. It's a thrash classic. So that is that. So that's my ends, and that is my sort of minor update of stuff that I've picked up. And so I hope you liked it. And I've got O to do next, which we have got quite a lot on O, and then tons on P. So yeah, quite a lot of videos coming up. Probably next one will be the Ozzy ranking of all his studio albums. I've got all his studio albums. I think I've got all his live albums as well. So we'll be showing all of those and ranking the studio albums, and yeah, a few other bits from. And then P, we've got, yeah, there's tons in P. P's going to take me probably, a while, like M did. So lots to look forward to. So please, if you like the video, press like, and if you could subscribe to my channel. I'm up to, I think, 99 subscribers now. So you could be number 100, which would be pretty awesome to get to 100 subscribers. I'll be well happy with that. So click the subscribe button, and say if you're into collecting CDs, or you just want to check out other new stuff that I've picked up. Go onto my CD Revival Facebook page and group. Take a step.